What's up, everybody? Tyler from Tenthumbspro.com coming at you with another blues lesson today. Today we're breaking down an SRV inspired thing. I was listening to Mary Had a Little Lamb, and that riff he does between the changes of chords inspired me to talk about how you can use the pentatonic scale to create a riff to help you change between your chords in a blues, and then we're going to do it in a blues in E and walk through the whole 12 bar and get super tasty, alright? All the tabs, chords, everything you need on the screen, but if you want a PDF to print out and follow along of all the tabs, you can get that for this lesson and all our previous lessons at Patreon. It starts at $1 creation caps, as low as $1 a month, but you don't need those things to learn, so I'm going to give you all the information. All you really need is that ukulele brain and attention span. You got those three things. Why don't you follow me on in and let's break this lesson down together. Okay, so this was inspired by Mary Had a Little Lamb by SRV, but it's a good example of what I would call lick leading. So what you can do in blues is on the bars that are on the even numbers like 2 and 4, you can create little licks that go into the next chord. Something that SRV was a master of. So the chords are going to need E7. You're also going to need a B7 and an A7. So you're only going to see that B7 once if you're super scared of bar chords, and you can find a way around it by playing this shape a little bit. That's not the principal idea of this activity. Okay, so what are we doing? We're starting off with a riff that's going to sound like this. And this riff is created entirely from the E minor pentatonic scale, which is your vehicle of choice when choosing to jam over an E blues. So what we're doing is 2nd fret to 5th fret, but the 2nd fret is going to be on the offbeat, like 1 and 2, and you go back to 2 on the offbeat, and 3 to open, and 4, and then down here to the G string on and 1 to the open E. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. If it helps, it helped me to think about this 2 always on the offbeat, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now why when we get down to this open string here? Well, first 2, that's all comes from the E minor pentatonic, right? 3, 0, 2, 5, all those notes are in the E minor pentatonic. So that open E is as well, and it is the root note of our E chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to jam that riff, and we're going to play the open E, and then we're going to go into an up mute. Actually, hey, I'm sorry about that. We're not going to do an up mute. We're going to do a mute, up mute. That's what I want after that. So it's going to be like this, nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Mute and mute. Alright? We'll count the whole thing out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 4. Alright? Now that run is actually going to start before the blues. So this is the first note, that E note of our 12-bar blues. So that's why we're going to play that riff, and when we get to the E, then we'll play the riff, and we'll get to the E, and we'll play the riff one more time. So the first 4 bars would sound like this. Okay, so our first 4 bars, here we go. Okay, see how we finished on that A? Because we're going into our A7. Now we could do the exact same thing. We could play an A7 and then do the exact same riff. That would work if you're creating your own. But I wanted to give the A7 a little spice. So this is what we're going to do over the A7. Okay, so over the A7, after you play that open A, you're going to go 2 and 3, down, up, down. Then you're going to get that ring finger on that B note and you're going to bend it. I'm sorry, that G note, 3rd fret of the E string, and bend it up a little bit on the offbeat, and mute. So that one bar is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Right after that, I'm going to come up, but I'm only going to grab the A string. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, which is walking through the blues scale. But when I get to that 2, I'm right back in our familiar lick, like and 1, well, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, so bars 5 and 6 would be 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, and then we get to bar number 8. We're going to hammer out on the 1st fret, give it a little flavor. And we're going to go up and grab with our middle finger, our A string, thumb on the C string, pointer finger on the E string. And then an up mute. Okay? So bars 5 through 8 sound like this. Okay, so we just have the turnaround now. The turnaround, we're going to keep that middle finger down, and we're going to make a bar on this 8th fret. I'm sorry, you're going to lift that middle finger up, make a bar on this 2nd fret, and you're going to hammer into from the 2 to the 3 with your middle finger, and do that same finger picking pattern we did on the previous bar. A7, the exact same thing, even the hammer on. And then we have like this kind of Stevie Ray blues style turnaround. Instead of going traditional chords, he used to do turnarounds here. And we're going to do something that sounds like this. And that's 1 and 2, 3 bola, 4. So middle finger, 2nd fret, slide to 4. Then go up and grab the 3rd fret with your pointer finger and the 5th fret. So it's 1 and 2. And then 5 pull 3 to 4 is triplet. Tripola, and then back up to the 3rd fret with your pointer finger on the 4th beat. 1 and 2, tripola, 4. Then we're going to slide 5 to 7 on the 1st beat. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and slide 5 7 and then 5 6 7. And then 3 and 4 and 1. So 3 is going to be a hammer on from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret, but it's on the off beat. So it goes 3 and open A string, 4 and 1. Making our turnaround. Okay, so we're going to start from the very intro riff, and we're going to play through the intro riff and the entire 12 bars, then we're going to finish on that first bar of the next 12 round loop. So here we go from the top. Because after this I want to talk about how you can do this on your own with your own creativity to replicate these ideas. So here we go. 1. Alright, and there it was. That was the entire 12-bar blues with that lick. Now it's in E minor, so you can get nasty, but the same way these ideas works, for example, a blues in D, which would be D7, G7, A7, you can take the D minor pentatonic and create a riff between the D7 and the A7, for example. Alright, so that was just me jamming, so that's why I was kind of sloppy and crummy, but the idea is if you sit down with pencil and paper, you can do a little better, alright? Okay, TenthumbsPro.com. If you want a PDF with this lesson, you can get one starting at $1 creation, caps as low as $1 a month by becoming a Patreon. PDFs with all of our lessons, including our previous ones and our future ones. Skype lesson 101 if you're interested, if you want to talk more about these topics, plus 10 Thumbs t-shirts if you're interested, alright? Okay, TenthumbsPro.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We love you here. Take care. Alright everybody, so there it was, breaking it down, bringing it to you, the whole thing, getting super tasty with it, like I said. Remember, think about becoming a Patreon, get that PDF, and most importantly, keep on jamming, because life is good. Take care of yourselves. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Rock and roll.